Alright. I wanted to do something else that's a little bit different from what I was doing with the just a damn. Still not feeling good. Been sick all night anyway. I wanted to make a video different from what I was doing with just the games in my collection, stuff like that. I wanted to start going into more details about each game, like what I like, don't like, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever, you know. So what I want to do is compare MLB 2K11 on the 360 to MLB 11 the show on the PS3. Yes, I have both systems, for those of you who didn't know. Just so you know, I'm not a fanboy or whatever. So anyway, I want to go into detail about. Okay, so like for hitting, for example, I like how on MLB 2K11, and this is probably the only thing I did like about this game, to be honest. On this game, they use the right stick to where if you got your timing down right, you could hit a home run with anybody. I got to the point where I was hitting home runs with pitchers. I mean, I was hitting home runs with everybody on this game just because I was able to time it right. But on this game, it's more button based as far as hitting goes. So yeah, home runs are still easy on this game. I still hit over 100 home runs in a season in my rookie year on the show mode, or whatever you want to call it, Road to the Show. I think I hit like 140 something on this game. And then on this game, I hit like 180 something in a season. Or 100, yeah, I think it was 185 or 186 in one season. Just because of the timing thing with the stick or whatever. But I did not like the career mode on this game. I like the Road to the Show a lot better because it's more realistic. And as far as other things go, like defense, this game, Road to the Show, and every other part of this game, even exhibition, defense is better. Yeah, there's a lot of errors and stuff like that by AI players on this game, but on this game, there are a lot more. Another thing I didn't like about this game is glitches and stuff like that. Like, I would be in the middle of a game in franchise mode or something, or I think it was franchise. It might have been another mode, I can't remember. But I was in the middle of a game and it would just freeze, and it did that like 5 or 6 times straight before I actually got to finish that game. And then another thing I didn't like about this game was achievements would glitch. They wouldn't unlock when they should have unlocked. I'm not sure if that's something that everyone knows about, but or if that happened to everyone, but there were a lot of achievements on that game that glitched. I should have got them, but they glitched. They wouldn't unlock. And I tried for them probably 5 times, 6 times, and they still never unlocked. So I just gave up on that. And let's see, what else is there? Well, as far as the career modes in the 2 different games, you probably rank up faster on this game just because it's a lot easier. But it's just because it's a lot easier doesn't make it more fun, in my opinion. Because I was ranked up on this game in career mode before the end of my first season. But this game, it took me like, I think my second season before I was finally ranked up enough to where they were ready to call me up to the majors. And then they still didn't actually sign me full time in the majors until the middle of my 3rd season or the end of my 3rd season, I think. But on this game, like I said, I ranked up really quick, and even then I got put on a shitty team, so it didn't really matter. But then again, I got put on a shitty team on this game too, but I didn't care because I had a lot of other good players around me, because apparently they signed me to be some type of star player, and they had all these other, because my player was a first baseman, so they had me, and then they had a bunch of other power hitters. Mark Reynolds, even though he strikes out a ton, and forgot who else they had, but yeah. But what I didn't like about it, though, I signed this big contract. I think it was like 10 years. And then like a year after I signed that contract on MLB 11 and Road to the Show, all the good players left the team. Like a year after I signed that multi-year contract. So I got stuck with a 10-year contract, and I was the only major league level player on the team. Everybody else had been called up from AAA. Because every one of the big league players either left the team or retired at the end of the season before that. Which that kind of pissed me off, because I thought they would at least go out and sign some other players, but they didn't even do that. Another thing I don't like is on both games, the pitching. I didn't like the pitching on either game, really, but it's a lot easier. At least in my opinion, it's easier to strike out batters on MLB 2K11 just because that game's easier altogether. But I didn't like the pitching on that game. I like the pitching on MLB The Show. Just because it's more realistic, because on MLB 2K11 you can throw any pitch for a strike. And you could throw every pitch for a strike. There's no, I mean, basically, if you knew what you were doing and you got really good at the game on MLB 2K11, you never threw a ball outside the strike zone. Because you didn't have to, because the AI would swing and miss, even if it was almost right down the middle half the time. But all in all, everybody already knows which one's better, and that's MLB 11 the show, but hopefully they can actually make a decent game, for a decent baseball game for the 360, so I won't have to spend so much time playing MLB the show on the PS3. I mean, the same people make this series that make the NBA 2K series. If they can make those games, they should be able to make a decent baseball game, I think. But so far they haven't proven that. But on another thing I like about MLB the show is the little things they added to make it more realistic, you know? Things that they'll probably never add to the MLB 2K series just because they're not that creative with it, really. Another thing I didn't like was in career mode where that guy was just kept popping up with useless information, stuff that you already knew. It was always like stuff that either just happened or stuff that you already knew that you needed to do or something like that. It'd be nice if they actually made it to where if he was going to pop up all the time, he actually provided information that you didn't know yet. But that was annoying. And another thing I didn't like was that home run derby, whatever it was called. Can't remember what it was called now, but that whatever it was, the home run derby something that you had to do for the achievement. I hated that. Every other mode in the game I can hit a home run after home run, but I go to play that, I can't hit a home run to save my life. I don't know what it was about that. But yeah, I didn't like that part. And what else? Oh, on both games, well, not both games, but on MLB The Show, I still can't run the bases to save my life. Then again, my guy's a first baseman, so that's kind of expected. Because I didn't want to play any other position, because I wanted to play something where I would get called up quicker. And first baseman, especially if you're a switch hitter with power and you're playing first base, you'll get called up fast. But that's why I chose to be a first baseman and a switch hitter. But I got to start working on ranking up as a base runner, because my guy's still slow. I think actually now he's not really that slow, because I think I just ranked him up to speed rating it to a 70. It was like a 30 before that, because I hadn't ranked him up at all as far as speed, because I've been concentrating on his contact power and all the other stuff, the fielding and his arm and all that, because I thought that was more important than speed, because he was a first baseman, and first basemans aren't expected to be fast. But anyway, all in all, I mean, The only thing I actually liked about MLB 2K11 was the batting with the right stick, because it was easy as hell to hit a home run, except for when I was playing in Home Run Derby and that one mode for the achievement, because then I would just freeze up and couldn't hit a home run at all. Everything just seemed like it was going 150 miles an hour or something. I couldn't even hit it in that mode for some reason. I don't know what it was. But everything else about MLB 2K11 just made me want to go play MLB 11 the show, really. Because there were a lot of glitches, the achievements were fucked up, and there were a lot of other annoying things that would happen during a game, that, like, the commentators or announcers or whatever you want to call them would call somebody by the wrong name sometimes. But that happens sometimes with on MLB 11 the show too. In Road to the Show mode, I noticed that. It was on Road to the Show though, it was only Matt Vasgersian or whatever the hell his name is. He would always mispronounce someone's name. It doesn't happen a lot, but every now and then he'll mispronounce a name or something. But on MLB 2K11, they would do that a lot. And there were a lot of other annoying things that would happen too on that game. But then again, there were some annoying things that I found on MLB 11 the show too, but it didn't really piss me off as much as the stuff that happened on MLB 2K11. Like on one thing that I did notice though, I hit a home run. It showed the ball landing in the crowd. It showed the umpire standing up and making the home run call. And then all of a sudden, I was back at the plate again with an 0-1 count. That pissed me off. Lucky that only happened once, because if it would have happened more than that, I would have snapped the disc in half. But yeah, there were a lot of things like that that happened. But things like that, glitches and stuff like that, can happen on any game, so yeah. I just wanted to compare these two games, and because I hadn't really seen anyone who actually sat there and took the time to play both games and then talk about them. There are a lot of people who talk about them without actually playing them, but I actually played both of them. So yeah.